Welcome. And today we have with us the beautiful Dr. Theresa Moseley. We are so happy to have her here. Welcome, Theresa, to the program today.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here today.
You're welcome. And before we start, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Dr. Theresa. She is the CEO of TAM Creating Ambassadors of Peace, LLC, where she provides leadership, professional development, transformational leadership, coaching for individuals on living in their purpose, and the observation process in schools. She is also an international motivational speaker and best-selling author. Dr. Theresa, welcome to the show. We're going to ask you this evening to tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, and how you got started as a kingdom woman in business.
Oh, thank you so much for being here. I'm just a little country girl from Fayetteville, North Carolina, who joined the Army and started living in her purpose when she was 18 years old. I literally worked since I was 18 years old. But the key is when I joined the military, I found out that I was a born leader. Now, here's the thing. Growing up, I realized that my gift was my voice, but I used to sing a lot. But it wasn't until my brother passed away and I had to write about what I was feeling when he passed away in a very tragic car accident in 1972 that I realized that my gift also was in writing. And then when I left the military and started working in education, then I realized even more, okay, so my voice is my gift, but my voice is my gift in speaking and writing, not so much the singing part. And so when you're an educator, all you do is stand in front of people, parents, students, the community, and talk. But it was two tragic things that happened in my life that really changed the trajectory of my speaking. And that was when I lost two students to violence. My first year as a high school principal, I lost a student. He was shot to death. Very tragic. And this kid could have played NFL ball. His life mattered. President Barack Obama said, every life must be given a chance to reach its full potential, that every life matters. His life was cut too short. Remember, I said I was a new principal, so I only met him for like 15 minutes. But in that 15 minutes, I knew his gift, I knew his passion, and I knew his purpose. So when his mother asked me to speak at his funeral, I had a lot to say. I ministered for almost 40 minutes. So the second thing was I had another kid that was beat to death in a park. Israel was a brilliant artist. Oh my gosh, he just could have been just the next world-renowned artist, for surrealism. He was great, but he was beat to death in a park. So that started my platform. Like I had to create a calm climate in my school. So I created no more violence theme, right? No more violence, one school, one community, one county at a time. And the next year it was one city, one state, one nation at a time. And how I birthed my business was I just, I looked around my house and I said, oh my God, I got a nice house. I've got twin Mercedes in my garage. I'm successful, but I'm not fulfilled. I wasn't fulfilled. Those were just material things. So I went to this master's class and my instructor said there are 2 days that are important. This is the Mark Twain quote, the day you were born and the day you find out why. So she came to my table. She says, Theresa, what is your gift? I said, I think my gift is my voice. I've been speaking, I've been writing. I think that's what I do. That's my gift from God and my gift of discernment. I kind of know things. So what are you passionate about? I said, I'm passionate about serving others. I was a Girl Scout serving others. I was a U.S. Army veteran, soldier serving others. I was an educator serving others, right? So I love serving other people. And then she says, so what do you think your divine assignment is? And I said, I think my divine assignment is making this world a more peaceful place. And when I said that out loud, I birthed my business. And I coach people that don't know what they're supposed to do. I help them discover self, know what they love, develop the blueprint, show them how to network, show them how to be accountable so that they can live in their divine assignment. And they will be successful, fulfilled, prosperous, and have inner peace if they just listen to their God inside of them, telling them what to do. And so I also provide professional development to corporations. Sometimes climates at work are really poor. Like when you go to the coffee room and everybody stops talking, that's a sign. So I teach leaders on how to have a positive climate in the workplace, because guess what happens? You might have somebody working in that climate that's not happy with you and they're not going to tell you, then they might get fired or they just might walk out and come back and blow up the place. It happens all the time. So I teach leaders how to really get to understand who your employees are and know their strengths and weaknesses. Know who doesn't have the gift of will. Know who doesn't have the gift of hope. Know who doesn't have the gift of purpose and competence, and help build that with them. So I think leadership is all about taking care of your employees. You have to make sure that they come first. And so that's a little bit what I do in my business. I coach, I provide professional development, and I speak. I speak on an international level. I speak in the US, I speak overseas. I spoke in London and Paris. And, you know, that's just what I do. And I always speak about world peace and inner peace.
Wow, world peace and inner peace.
Correct.
So I want you to tell me, as you go about teaching on peace and inner peace, what does this transformational leadership look like? What is transformational leadership and how do you use it or teach others to use it?
I am so blessed that I have conventional wisdom, stuff you learn during life, and funded knowledge, stuff that you learn in school. And when I was in basic training, this is what I learned. The very first day of basic training, we had to put together 40 lockers, right? And I'm 18 right out of high school. And so the drill sergeant said, you have 8 hours to put together the 40 wardrobes, and then we'll give you the rest of the gear. So when he left, I said, ladies, it was 40 of us. I said, we can do this in less than 4 hours. I said, who's good with reading directions, following directions? Who's good? And one lady says, oh, I could just look at the picture and tell you. I said, okay, we need 3 more just like her. Little girls like me, we're going to do the materials. We're going to hand you stuff. Got them done in like 3 hours and a half. The drill sergeant comes back and he said, ladies, you're finished already. They said, yes, drill sergeant. Well, how did that happen? Well, baby Moseley gave us roles and responsibilities based upon our strengths. I was 18 years old, but I knew better. I said, hold up, drill sergeant. We did this as a team. I'm not going to take responsibility for what the team did. But what I learned that day is I had some leadership skills. And how I learned that it was transformational leadership is when I received my first school, my high school. It needed some transforming. So here's what I did. I'm well read. I read 3 books a week now. I used to start out at 1. Now I read 3 because I'm retired from education. And Bernard Bass says, transformational leadership, there's 4 tenets. Individual consideration, inspirational motivation, idealized influence. And I take each of those components and I break it down in professional development. Yes.
Wonderful. So I know that you are impacting lives. I am so motivated. As you speak to me here today, I actually feel so much motivation, like if it's bubbling in my spirit. But can you give us, like, or tell us 1 or 2 of those stories of where you made a major difference, a testimony of where you made a major difference in the life of someone through all that you do?
Let's talk. I'll tell you a couple of stories. One is about a teacher. Remember, inspirational motivation is one of the tenets of transformational leadership. So as a new principal and a female in a high school, they're used to having the male. A lot of people don't think, oh, she can't run this school, right? And so there was a lot of people on the fence, and like they were trying to figure me out. But one thing I was very clear is everybody is going to be involved in decision making. I'm not coming in here changing we're going to develop our vision together. We're going to develop our mission together. We're going to develop our mission statement together. And anytime there's any kind of conflict, we're going to communicate. Okay, we're not retaliating. And so there was a teacher that one of the things I said was, you got to get to work on time. This teacher did not come to work on time. So the first day I discovered, I said, okay, well, maybe something is going on. Maybe I didn't know. Maybe she had a pet she had to take care of. I just didn't know. So I called her in. I said, hey, I've noticed that you're not coming to work on time. I noticed it for about a week. And she says, well, I can get to work on time. I said, well, tomorrow, please get to work on time. You know? So the next day she was late again. So I called her back in. I said, listen, is there something that I need to do? Do I need to change your schedule? Is there something happening in your life that you cannot get to work on time? She says, no. I said, do me a favor. I want you to write down 3 things that you can do that will get you to work on time. Because she told me why she wasn't getting to work on time, but those were just excuses. They weren't real reasons. So she wrote down 3 things. And I said, oh, wow. If you do this, definitely you can get to work on time. The next day, she got to work on time. So here's the point. The next day, she got to work on time. The next week. So I said, okay, wow, she's coming to work on time. Week number 3, I went by her class to visit her. I said, hey, how you doing? She says, I'm doing great. Can I talk to you for a second? I said, sure. She goes, I've got to tell you the truth. And I said, what's your truth? I have to tell you the real reason why I wasn't coming to work on time. I said, and what's that? And she said, because nobody ever held me accountable. And you came in and you held me accountable. And that's why I'm getting to work on time. My best friend was missing her collaborative planning. My students were missing me. Every day I was missing 30 minutes of work. And I didn't realize I was impacting the people around me. And I just smiled because I already knew. I had to get the discernment that what she told me wasn't the case, right? But that changed her life. That changed her life in the building because the kids were happy to see her. Her friend was happy she can go to collaborative planning. So I did not write her off. I gave her individual consideration is what it is. Individual consideration is the 4th one. Individual consideration. You have to meet people where they are. You know, everybody's not going to fit in the box. Some people are going to fit outside the box. You just can't give everybody the same treatment either. Even though I'm a transformational leader, there might be someone that needs direct supervision. She needed direct supervision. I just couldn't tell her, come to work on time. I had to sit down, write it out, tell me what you can change to get to work on time. But after that, there was much respect. Another case is just, I was in a Speak and Write Your Message class with Dr. Cheryl Wood, and we had to meet 4 people that we didn't know to find out what we had in common. And I always listen to the Holy Spirit when I have tasks like that, like who should I call? So I kind of looked at the list, and there was one young lady, the name just resonated with me. So I called her, and we're supposed to talk only like 10 to 15 minutes. We talked for almost 3 years. And in the midst of that, I said to her, I got to know a little bit more about her. And I said, we were both in education. And I said, tell me something, what's your gift? And she got real quiet. I said, I'm a teacher, so I'm giving you wait time. She goes, I don't know. I said, yes, you do. And she goes, what? I said, I know what your gift is. And she said, you do? I said, tell me what your gift is. And she told me. Then I said, okay, what are you really passionate about? And she got real quiet again. She goes, no one's ever really asked me these questions before. And I'm smiling because I knew where I was going with this. Because after listening to her story, I knew she wasn't living in her purpose. So she finally told me what her passion was. I said, okay, what do you think your divine assignment is? And she got all excited because now she's ready to tell me what it is she really wants to do, what she's really good at, what she can do to make a difference in the world, And I said, boom. I said, guess what? From this day forward, you're going to do that. And I'm going to be your accountability partner for no charge, And I showed her how to set goals. I showed her how to write a book. I gave her some people to network with, and she's doing extremely well. So she went from this mediocre job to like living in her purpose, doing conferences, writing books, oh my gosh. And so that's how I actually birthed my coaching business too. I said, I can really help people because I have the gift of discernment. And I kind of know things that I shouldn't know about people that I don't know. I can really help them maximize their potential. And with students, I help them because I kind of knew who they were. I help them maximize their potential academically, socially, and emotionally. I know you said 2 stories, but I'm going to tell you this one about this kid.
That's fine.
There was a student that was locked up for assault on the outside of school. And actually, it happened inside of school, but he got in trouble outside of school too. So he was in lockup for about maybe 18 months. And he couldn't go back to his home school. So they sent him to me. Oh my goodness. They send people to me because they knew I would always take them. Because you could say, no, he can't come to my school. But I would always accept the kids. So he sat down. I said, okay, son, what grade are you in? He was with his mother. He says, I think I'm in 11th grade. I said, do you have a transcript? He said, no, ma'am. I said, well, I need to know what grade you're in. I need your classes that you take so that I can make sure you're on track for graduation. And he put his head down. And I could feel that there was something not quite right. And this kid was really tall, by the way. And his mother was sitting there shaking her head. And I said, can you tell me what you're feeling right now? And he said, I don't know what I'm feeling. I said, wow. I looked at his mom. I said, tell me something. What do you like to do? What are you passionate about? And he stood up. When he stood up, I looked up and he said, I like to draw. I said, oh, You're an artist? He said, yes, ma'am. I said, hold your head up. I said, oh, here. Gave him a piece of paper and a pencil. I said, can you draw me what you're feeling? He said, yeah. 4 minutes, he drew a broken heart with tears in it.
Wow.
I looked at that. I looked at his mother. I said, oh my God, your son is an artist. Your son, this is your key to generational wealth. This is your key to leaving a legacy for your family. Son, did anyone tell you you're brilliant? I said, listen, I know that broken heart is you. And he said, how did you know that? I said, I have to get the discernment. Okay. So can you tell your mom what those tears mean? Oh my goodness. I said, Mom, how long has your son been drawing? She says he's about 3 years old. That's when the kids really discover their gifts, 2 and 3, right? And so I said, did you nurture his gift? Did you give him art supplies for Christmas? And we didn't have any money like that. I said, oh my God. Oh my goodness. This kid, and those were the tears for not getting Christmas presents,
Yes.
for not getting the birthday presents, for people laughing at him and bullying at him because he was 6'2" and didn't play basketball. You know, some people even laughed at him because he was an artist. You know, not everybody 6'2", 6'3" was meant to play basketball. Not every person is a doctor or a lawyer. Some people are just creative, and that's their gift to the world. Because guess what? When I look at great art, it makes me feel good. When Bruno Mars sings with Anderson .Paak, it makes me feel good. I don't think about anything. It's their gift. So I helped, when he left my office, he had art supplies. I called my friend to be an art therapist for him, got him an art therapist, a mentor. And then I couldn't accept him at my school because he wasn't ready. So I sent him to the alternative school because he didn't have any treatment. Somebody should have gave that boy art treatment in prison, right? Yeah. So that's what I do. I help people discover self and let them know that this life is not about you. It's about using your gift to help the world, because whatever you're passionate about, the world needs it. I'm passionate about serving others because the world needs peace. Just listen, my phone pings every 15 minutes with another shooting. I saw one this morning somewhere in Yuma, Arizona. I saw 3 last week in Texas. Yes. But guess what? I can help people watching this show. If I could just help one person, don't do it. Think about how it's going to impact their mother, their father, their cousin, their uncle, their teacher, their preacher. When you kill somebody, when you hurt somebody, you just don't hurt them. You hurt the world. So that's what I do. Yeah.
As you speak, I just feel so much passion and so much love for people. And sometimes I wish that there were more persons like you available. Then there won't be so many persons probably in prison today. Yes. Because they would have someone that would tell them, you are yes. here for a purpose. And on that note, I know there are people that want to know, how can I reach out to Dr. Theresa? I have a son, I have a daughter. I myself, I need to know how to walk in my divine purpose. Tell us how we can find you.
Yes. I have a website. It's www. all small letters, creatingambassadorsofpeace.com. On the first page, there's my bio, and there's a little box where you can schedule a free 30-minute consultation with me. The next page is my bookstore, where I have 16 books, including my bestseller, Creating Ambassadors of Peace, 16 Steps. Every student, every parent needs to have this in their house, because I give 16 practical steps, like communicate, don't retaliate, attack the problem, not the person, have compassion and empathy for others, love your community and serve them well. And then the next page, I have an event page. If you want to come to one of my functions, I always update it quarterly, actually monthly that I update. I'm doing so many things now. And you can see where I'm going to be next if you want to follow me and see me in person. And then the next page, I have a media page where you can listen to some of my speeches. If you're an organization that wonder, okay, she says she's a speaker, can she speak? Yes. Go to my website. You can look at some of my speeches. I did the Leadership Experience Tour with my own Passion, Purpose, Peace Summit. And then I also have a apparel store as well. So it's basically one-stop shopping. And my website has all the links to my social media sites, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Yes. So
wonderful. Thank you so much. So you've heard from Dr. Theresa Moseley. And if you're now joining us, she is the CEO of TAM, Creating Ambassadors of Peace, LLC. So thank you so much, Theresa. It is a pleasure to
Thank
have you
you.
here on the program. And we definitely look forward to all the change and transformation that you will bring to lives continuously. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
Thank you too. I have to leave with this. Life is but a short road to our ultimate destiny. Make peace, have compassion, and learn to love before you get there. Peace and blessings.
Amen. Thank you so much.